Hey YouTube, welcome to the fourth part of fitting a Minn Kota to my fiberglass boat. I had originally intended this to go 3 episodes. It's gone 4, and in reality it probably could have gone 5. I've made this video a bit longer than I normally like to make my videos, just to fit it in and not go that extra episode. So let's get started. Hey, I've got everything sorted out, ready to go now. And that's so I can bolt forward into that bulkhead as well to give it some extra strength. And of course the fiberglass wedge that levels everything up. So that's all ready to go on now. I like to put plenty of elastic around a job when I'm putting it on the boat, because you drill a hole in the boat. When you drill a hole through fiberglass and moisture gets into that, the moisture can wick along the strands of fibre unless you seal them. So one way to seal them is to put some hot resin in the hole, just to seal off the edges of the fiberglass, and you should always do that. But I also like to use some elastic, or plenty of elastic around it, to make sure the moisture doesn't get in the first place, and particularly on the front deck where waves are likely to come over, especially when you're going over a bar. As well as going around the edges to stop the water getting in, I also put some around each individual hole as well. Nothing like a belt and braces approach. The rest of it over the bottom is just for the sticking qualities of elastic. When you've got two parts that fit together really well, I've found elastic to be an exceptionally good glue in wet conditions. It's off camera so you can't see it. I was focusing a little bit tight, but I'm putting more elastic on the stainless steel bracket. You can never have enough elastic. And still more elastic on the Minn Kota bracket itself. Like I said, you can never have too much elastic on a job like this. Needless to say, this will be getting sold with the boat if I ever sell the boat, because it's going to be too hard to take off. So whoever buys the boat, if I sell it, gets a Minn Kota bracket with the boat. Aren't they lucky? Now all that remains to be done is to bolt this sandwich together so that the elastic is bedded in, squeezed out what excess I've got, and it will never move again, at least not easily. My lovely assistant is inside the boat holding the banner, and I'm just out here tightening them up. This part of the job's done, just remains to mount the Minn Kota now and get some electricity going to it, and the heading sensor of course.
I hope you can see up there, we're just looking in torchlight. There's two of the bolts down through. Now it's coming down through a fairly thick fiberglass deck there, between 1/4 and 3/8 of an inch thick, so between say about 6mm and 10mm thick. And I've got those washers on to give it some support at the base. Now ideally I would like to put a whole strap between those two with a hole in each end to give it heaps of support on the base, and even better yet, I'd like to have done it with all 3 bolts, but I can't because of the structure underneath here. I can't get in to get a big plate in here, so I'm just going to leave those washers initially, and when I do the sea trials I'll get in and just have a look and see if there's any flex at all in the deck under full thrust, and if there's not, they'll probably be okay. So that just remains to be seen. I'm going to put the nylox on here now, and since I've got to get up in there, we can't film it and get up in there, so I'll show you afterwards.
Well, there you go, there's the nylock nuts put on as lock nuts. For those of you that haven't seen enough of my videos to know me yet, I am a big fan of the belt and braces approach to engineering. There's no way those suckers are coming off without some human help. Well, this is where I'm going to mount the heading sensor. It's a bit awkward trying to find somewhere to mount it because I don't want to mount it out in the weather. I hope you can see this, it's pretty dark in here. I hope you can see it in the movie because I can't see it very well in the viewfinder, but there's a little button there, and that's going to be a source of letting water into the unit, I think. So I'm not wanting to take the risk on it. I am going to mount it up in here as far forward as I can get it, so it's as far away from the electronics as possible. It's probably still closer than it should be. However, it's the best I can do, so that's what's going to happen with it. Just get my Dremel tool out, because that's about all I've got that's small enough to get in there and drill in this confined space that I've got to work in. Even that's going to be a bit of an ask. Could probably put the extender on it and get a bit more, but I'll see how it goes without it first. This drill won't be big enough, but it'll do to get the job started. If I can get it drilled through from the top here on one hole, that's all I need. I can drill the rest from the bottom, and I can use a more appropriate drill for doing that because there's plenty of room down there. Already got a mark there through the carpet where this is going to have to go. Right, that's got one mark in there. Now, it's going to be a bit awkward to see what I'm doing, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this up on the ceiling underneath and put the drill through that hole and just mark it on the ceiling, and then I can get a better drill and drill through both of them. I'll be doing that off camera because there's just not enough room for a camera in here with me. Now I need to find a drill that's going to suit the bolts that I've got. I'll have to do that and come back. If I had thought it through properly, I would have done that before I got up here. Got a better drill now, bigger bit in it. Now I tried to get these straight, but I think I've got them a couple of degrees off the centre line of the keel. It's not far off, but it will need calibrating. I'm not going to drill another hole through the boat just to take that wire off. There's one over here I can feed it down through. And it's not like there's any shortage of wire to feed through. They've given me enough to run from one end of the boat to the other by the looks of it. Okay, there's a 12 volt only, big warning label on there telling you to only connect this to 12 volt because the rest of the Minn Kota system's 24 volt. I've got to cut this and put it into the line because I'm going to have a fuse in the line. I haven't checked the documentation, but I do have some 2 amp fuses here. I expect that they'll be good enough to do the job. Just an inline fuse holder. I would have preferred to get one of the blade fuses if I could, but the only ones that were in the chandlery when I was there had huge wires hanging off them, big heavy amp jobs. Nothing in the lighter end of the range, even that one's a bit heavy. It's made for 10 amp fuses. I suppose the next thing I'm going to have to do now is I'm going to have to make some battery retainers to sit the batteries in there. Let's get the camera down on this while I'm talking. Okay, that's down in the little recess in the cuddy cabin, and that's my first choice of where to put the batteries. A little bit worried that it's putting a bit too much weight up the nose. I'm going to have to get it in the water and see how that goes. If it is putting too much weight out the nose, I'm going to move the batteries down under the main seats, or up on the right against the sides under the main seats. That should balance the boat out nicely. It'll just be a bit in the road when it comes to putting your gear in, although it will free up that section again. If I was closer to the water, I'd drop it in the water before I wire anything up and just make sure that it's going to be okay. But unfortunately I'm not, so it's going in as is, and if it's not right, I'll have to redo the job. Just need to get everything out of the way now, because here comes one of the moments of truth. We can sit this Minn Kota up there. And what's more, it can stay up there. And that's it in place. I'll just put this in for now, just to keep that there. Oh, and there's my Minn Kota mounted on the boat. It's going to swing clear of everything, which is beautiful. I wished I'd boarded in maybe another couple of inches there, but it's clear, it's fine. As long as I'm careful, I should be right. Temptation is to drop these straight through the window, at least until I try it all out. But I don't think that's going to be a good idea. I've got a nylock nut, a red washer, stainless steel washer, and some instructions which tell us to discard this spacer here that's holding in the drive pin, discard the red washer, reuse the prop washer. Don't reuse the nut, we reuse a special anode for salt water. Can't tell if you can see this or not. Still can't tell, too much glare from the sun, but there's a channel across here which this pin is going to have to go in. I'll just turn him so he's flat. That way it'll be hopefully easier to line him up. There we go. This has got a no-lock nut built into it. And what we've said is a sacrificial anode to protect your motor. That shouldn't need to be done up extra tight, but we'll see what the instructions say. Red washer, colour replacement instructions, your manual for proper installation. Yeah, okay. I think you've actually got to reuse the prop washer, even with the anode in there. Not good to undo and redo these nylock nuts, but I had it in my hand thinking I'd better check that before I put it on, and just put it on without thinking. It's screwing up alright again. Well, that's a Minn Kota mounted on the boat. I made this little stand here just to support the Minn Kota a little bit if we're going through some rough weather. There's half a pool needle up there. I got a piece of stainless steel pipe and split it down the middle to make a rest for it, and the pool needle's just to cushion things. Another bit of stainless steel pipe and a piece of stainless steel down the bottom to bolt it onto the boat where the bow rail used to bolt on. Managed to use the same holes, so no new holes in the boat, which is always a good thing. And that's a pretty neat job if I do say so myself. Now, I didn't take any video of welding it all up. Welding's a whole different subject to fitting a Minn Kota to a boat. If you can't weld, you'll have to get someone to weld one for you if you want one. And if you can weld, you'll be able to do it without me showing you how. Well, that's it in place. You've seen it in place before, but the wiring's in place now. This is what I ended up doing with it. I ran around the inside of the well like I was going to, and I got a couple of those things, which I still haven't got the name for, and they've sealed up really tight. There's no water going to get in them. They're epoxy glued in. No hope of any water getting in. I've just got to hook up the heading sensor and the wiring's complete, and I can start tying in all the Bluetooth and getting it ready for sea trials. Well, thanks for taking the time to watch this video, and congratulations for sticking with it till the end. There's still a bit more to do to finish up the Minn Kota. You need to wire it up. Wiring up a 24 volt system with dual batteries is pretty easy, but I will be covering it in a later video. As it turns out, I am going to be mounting a Minn Kota to another fiberglass boat quite differently, because this system's not going to work with that boat. I'll do a video of that, and it will go up eventually as well. If you'd like to see more of my videos, you can go to my YouTube channel. Thanks for watching. Until next time.